Video games that punish the players. Will T5G ever punish me for watching these videos? Who knows? It remains to be seen.
Punishing you for admiring the game. During the start of Human Revolution, you have to rescue some hostages, except this is the opening mission, so obviously we're gonna explore and look for items. For those whose curiosity got the best of them, once you get to the hostages, they're all dead. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's the same in Mass Effect 2. Spoiler alert for Mass Effect 2. If you spend too long after the collectors kidnap your team, then they die. They pretty much all die except Dr. Chokwas, because they say, literally, when your team is kidnapped, oh, we shouldn't waste much time. We should go and rescue the squad when we're ready. And then you can go off and do other missions. But if you do go off and do other missions, they get blended and added to a human soup that can then be made into a AI super spaceship that will do genocide on everyone, which I personally would prefer to not be a part of.
Things really got personal when players decided to romance every girl in Persona 5 Royal. I mean, yeah, the game lets you do that, but it doesn't mean you should.
What?
Because Valentine's Day gets awkward.
Oh, that... Wait! That's what happens if you romance every single girl? My god, my boy must be working on overtime. Listen, it's hard enough having a normal interaction and forming a meaningful relationship with one person. To be able to do that with like 10 girls, well, you shouldn't do that. It's very bad. You should never lie to your partners. You should always be upfront, and you shouldn't cheat on your partners, obviously. But my god, that must have taken so much time. Yeah, it serves him right, obviously. But Jesus Christ, he must have been working on overdrive. Did that guy have any free time? Was he just doing this exclusively and nothing else? Leave it to the JRPG to be able to build a harem. I don't know, is there any other games that you can form like a full-on harem in? I don't think you can. There's a few games that you can have two relationships at the same time, and then one of them will find out and then give you a gold slap around the face like you deserve. But I don't think you can do it like 10 girls at the same time.
Better at handling crowds of people in Sifu. This martial arts game is super unique thanks to one feature, old age. I'm not kidding, every time you get defeated, your age increases, and you'll literally turn elderly. For those who can't put up a fight anymore, you'll get too old, and now you gotta start the chapter all over again. You also age.
I like that, that's a really cool, that's a really, really cool feature. That really sets it apart. That's the main thing I do remember about Sifu.
To the stress of online matches. Sometimes your opponent is simply better than you, and if you decide to rage quit, the game humiliates you even further with
Quitality.
I was not expecting that.
Animal Crossing uses real clocks, so it knows if you haven't played in a day, a week, or even a year. Because of this, checking into your island and its inhabitants every day is super enjoyable, but it also has some consequences. For anyone who puts down the game and returns to it after a while, well, you got
finds their entire village dead. All they see is the rotten corpses of the people they once shared a town with, neglected. Well, actually, can't they take care of themselves? They shouldn't be pissed off. God, what, are they needy?
got some work to do. The island's overgrowing with weeds, the star rating will go down, and villagers are unhappy that you left them for so long.
What, now I'm seeing ghosts? I suppose it was only a matter of time? Yeah, look at them, they're needy. Well, yeah, I put down the game because it's not lockdown anymore, man. This is when Animal Crossing came out, that's when it was most popular. Now you pick it back up after a few years. I mean, what's a few years between friends, right? A true friend you can pick up a conversation with after a few years like it's nothing. I have a lot of friends like that. Do you have any friends like that? I have a lot of friends like that.
If you somehow don't play New Horizons for 40 years, you'll open the game and be locked out. And
what?
if you somehow don't play New Horizons for 40 years, you'll open the...
Please close the game from the home menu and restart after setting a date between 2000 and 2060. What? Why? But why? Wait, you can't play after 2060? I don't think this is going to be an issue, but what a strange thing to add. Is it because of time skipping glitches? Is that why?
Game and be locked out. And speaking of animals, there's a Capcom game called Haunting Ground, and your dog companion is so important they even put him on the cover.
He dies.
He helps you.
Yeah, he dies. No, there's no way. It's like Molly and Me. You don't have a movie about a dog where the dog doesn't die, or at least a dog doesn't die. It's the way that you build emotional impact. It's cheap. Killing off dogs, cheap way to get emotional results, but it works every time. I would cry. I never watched Molly and Me because I knew he was gonna die. Spoiler. Oh, what do you fucking mean spoiler? What do you think happens in Molly and Me? Of course he's gonna die. What are you talking about? It's like saying, oh, spoilers in Gladiator, the guy's a gladiator. What do you mean?
With your puzzles, fights off enemies, who could say no to this little guy? Well, if you're a horrible person who neglects him, the game will never forgive you. I won't either, but that's beside the point.
Fair.
Once you reach the ending, he won't come and save you, leaving you to die in a glass box.
Owned. Wait, how do you neglect the dog in this game? Do you just not pet him enough? Do you have to get 7,000 pet points?
Most of the time, you can get away with this stuff because no one knows the game trolled you, right? Well, in Skullgirls, one fan enjoyed the entire game, playing from start to finish without a care in the world, until they beat it and a message popped up saying, "What is the square root of a fish?" Now I'm sad. I know, it makes absolutely no sense, so naturally they went on Twitter and asked the developers what this meant. Oh, that? It means you should probably buy the game instead of pirate it, which...
Oh, dude, you got them. You just got publicly owned. That's all point and laugh at the pirate. You just got owned. You're a stealer. You're stealing it. Now we know that you're a stealer.
Which is a crazy response because it basically exposed them on Twitter to thousands of people. Being shamed in public doesn't just happen on social media. EVE Online has an annual event that is designed just to humiliate players.
EVE Online is a space game that I haven't played, but I know that people spend hundreds of real-life dollars in money to develop their spaceships. And you can go to war, and if your spaceship blows up, you just lose the money because your spaceship is gone. And you have big, massive wars with huge factions where they just fight in their big spaceships. They just lose thousands of dollars. It's crazy. At least that's what I saw from Reddit posts. I don't know if it's right.
It's called GM Week, and the devs live stream themselves looking for cheaters. Not only are they shamed with an icon, they'll be teleported to a lobby full of players ready to destroy them. Yeah, it's a public execution, an insane way to combat hacking.
Oh my god, that's actually an insane way to... They publicly execute cheaters. They bring them to the town square. This is kind of like the modern version of hanging the town villains and the town murderers, where you take them and you put them on a big stand and you hang them in front of everyone, and everyone's like, yeah, get him killed. I don't like the way he looks.
Order took a different approach. They decided to troll everyone who plays the game. On the first planet, you could ignore the main quest and explore for loot before you continue. Most of us could get away with this until you spot this frog in a cave. I don't care if it's the start of the game. I'm good enough to fight this guy, right? Well, that's until you drop down and Ogdo Bogdo reveals himself, the most difficult boss in the entire game without a warning. From players who are too curious to those...
Is he really the most difficult boss in the game? I mean, isn't like Darth Vader in this shit? You telling me some dumb frog in the middle of nowhere is the strongest thing in the game? That seems like that should be the case.
If you play Metal Gear Solid 3 and decide to take a lengthy break from the story, you will regret it. By the time you come back, all the food in your inventory is spoiled. I'm not talking a couple days here. This only happens if you're gone for weeks at a time, so maybe you deserved it. One of my favorite trolls comes from Bethesda and Morrowind. As you're exploring the world, there's a chance a random mage falls from the sky. You can mind your own...
Oh, this dude's awesome. This is the guy that's trying to learn how to use levitation spells, and he messes it up.
But let's be a jerk and loot him. Here you'll find a spell that gives you a jump boost. If you stopped and thought about this for even a second, you would probably avoid it. But for those who were overconfident, they used this thing and immediately got sent to space. Yep, no fall damage, and you go splat. Now you know what killed the mage.
Yeah, it literally, I think it even says in the book, I developed this jump thing. I just haven't figured out how to land yet. You're like, oh, wait, this jump thing sounds kind of cool. I can jump forever. I really missed out about Morrowind and Oblivion is some of the skills like athletics and acrobatics. If you max out your acrobatics, you just jump into space. You become Frogman. You can leap over buildings. It's sick. There's nothing like that in Skyrim or any Fallout games or Starfield now. They took it out because they said no fun. Sorry, gamers. We've taken out the fun, but you can still buy the game. There's just less fun in it now.
Being overconfident is one thing, but in Payday 2, you could be straight up evil. Sure, the game is about robbing banks, but you can at least do that as peacefully as possible. No one is telling you to go out and wipe every civilian in the area because, I mean, that's messed up. Luckily, the devs realized this and added a personal punishment if you do it. For every civilian you take out, you gotta wait 30 seconds in custody. That means your teammates could do the entire heist without you if you went on a rampage. Is that worth?
Hey, I mean, listen, I think that it's kind of weird that we have to teach people that slaying civilians bad, actually. The funny, it's like in Modern Warfare 2, where you can do the no Russian level. You don't have to fire a single bullet. It's a level about going into an airport and just gunning down every civilian that you see, slaughtering innocents by the dozen, but you don't have to fire a bullet. You can just walk through the level. You don't have to do anything. Most people didn't do that. I didn't do that. I killed the civilians. I was doing it. I did it. Yeah, not a single time. I replayed that game like 5 times.
Being evil, but it's also not worth being a tryhard. In the original Jak and Daxter, you could complete the entire game without a care in the world. If that wasn't satisfying enough, you could totally go for the 100% completion and get every power cell. It was extra work, sure, but the reward sounded amazing. A secret ending. Who would've want that? Well, that's until you actually got there and this door was finally unlockable. Let's open it and see what's inside. Wait, that's it? Turns out you had to wait for the sequel to answer this question. So
wait, what was in it?
No point in all that work.
Wait, what was the answer? You can't just... Wait, no, I want to see what the answer was, though. After collecting 100 power cells and unlocking the secret ending, Samos, Jak, Daxter, and Kira turn towards a large precursor door, which is opened using these cells. Behind it is a large blinding light, which is later revealed in the second game to be the Rift Rider and Rift Gate. Is the Rift Gate, like, cool? I mean, it looks kind of cool. Is it just a portal to another level? Imagine that. The ending of the game is just a portal to another level in the sequel.
I can understand being punished for leaving the map, though. In GTA 5, the entire island is surrounded by water. It would be very difficult to escape unless you had a plane or something. It's GTA, of course you do. And trying to leave doesn't give you an invisible wall or turn you around. Nope, it is so much more terrifying than that.
Oh, you just fall apart. Do you get eaten by a... Oh, you do! You do get eaten by... I was gonna say a megalodon, but a shark will do too.
The ones who hide a punishment in the game's design. In Left 4 Dead, players came up with the craziest ways to survive a horde. Usually this involves getting to a high vantage point where they can't reach you. Well, the devs thought of this while making the game and purposely added a zombie with a super long tongue. It can reach you from insane distances, dragging you towards them and away from your teammates. One of the funniest trolls is for diehard fans of Sly Cooper. At the end,
Oh god, wait, I thought they were still doing the Left 4 Dead one. I mean, that's not really punishing players. It's just a thing that they add to counteract some camping techniques. It's not really punishing people.
Game, once you spend hours completing it, you get to finally sit back and watch the credits. Maybe you grabbed a snack or something, but as it shows those final names, you might expect a post-credit scene. That's until the game tells you to get out of here because you've seen
They said go outside? Wow, they were way ahead of the game, apparently.
everything you want, now go outside. Clarence Little. Of course, it's an average GTA mission, so it's never as simple as that. This involves a huge chase that leads you to a final showdown on the rooftop. Clarence will surrender and plead for mercy. This is where the game actually gives you a choice. You can just end it here or walk away and let him live. But bear in mind, this is Grand Theft Auto, so your decision will have consequences. If you have trust issues, the mission is over and you can move on with your life. But if you're more forgiving and spare Clarence, he'll come back later only to try and kill you.
I might
What?
but you so
Hey, let it be known that being a good person, walking away, and letting people live is a terrible idea. Always kill your enemies, kill them so that they cannot come back in the future, kill them and make sure, get their family too, because then the kid can like get mad and then turn into a Super Saiyan and come back later and they may try and do revenge, like mafia style revenge. So make sure to get the family too, and make sure to get the friends of everyone that knew that person. It's the only way to truly make sure that you'll be safe.
If you consider yourself smart though, you're probably someone who's tried to exploit a game before. I wouldn't recommend doing it in Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it will punish you just for trying. Alright, so you can purchase an Olympian gift, basically a loot box that hands you an amazing item.
Oh god, I hate that they put loot boxes in Assassin's Creed. What were they thinking? Oh, they were thinking money, obviously, but still, man, I hate that they did that.
This is a single player game. Surely if you don't like what's inside, you could just load an old save and try again, right? Well, your currency is stored on Ubisoft servers and not your hard drive. So you went back in time, lost the loot, while the game kept your money.
Wait, no fucking way. They take the loot back if you reload a save? There's no shot. How did they get away with that? If you accidentally reload a save, you just don't get a refund? I would assume that they would just keep the stuff. They would just let you have the stuff on the old save. That's the way that you would do that. Just give you the stuff on the old save. They just fucking take the stuff back. Oh my god. Thank you, Ubisoft. Incredible game design. Thank you so
If you
much.
love being disrespectful, don't play Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. The devs have no time for people who are playing rude, especially to your wife. So in the game, you have a spouse and a kid who occasionally visit you while you maintain the farm. It's nice to see them every time you get the
Kick
chance,
them.
but some people just ain't cut out for marriage. Thanks to the dialogue options, you could be a certified jerk to your wife, and she won't sit there and take it. Eventually,
You can be a dead
she'll give up, take your kid, and divorce you. If it's
You can be a deadbeat dad and they'll just leave you. Man, that's funny. I love the role-playing options. That's great. Hopefully that doesn't end the game and you can continue playing after that, being the town deadbeat that everyone talks about behind your back.
Anger issues out on Splatoon, don't be one of those players who rage quit all the time. I mean, yeah, we've all done it, but if you rage constantly game after game, even Splatoon tells you to just calm down with a message
Make sure your internet isn't messed
that
up.
drops the hammer on you. Now, that doesn't mean you should always be the nicest person around. In The Last of Us Part 2, you can wipe out an entire squad of enemies, leaving only one person remaining. If you're on the brink of killing them, they'll throw down their gun and beg for their life. Pretty convincing performance, so you're likely to spare them, but I don't recommend that because they'll use your
attack
kindness
you
against you and start shooting from behind.
Yeah, that's the problem. I actually wish that there was more moments in games where if you completely destroy an enemy group, one of them does genuinely surrender and they're like, I'm sorry, like I won't attack you. And they don't do it. It'd be so cool if they did that, or if they ran away from you because they realize how scary you are. Because in real life, if your entire group gets destroyed and you feel like you're completely outmatched, you're gonna throw your gun down, you're gonna run away, you're gonna try and get away from the situation. You're not just gonna keep going like bam, 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 bam. Especially if you're fighting, like, for example, in BioShock 2, the Big Daddy. You play as a Big Daddy. You're slaughtering people left and right with a big drill in your hand. You're drilling into them. You're setting them on fire. And then the last splicer just sits there like, no, I'll get him. I've got a lead pipe. And they start like hitting you with a lead pipe. You should literally run away. Why are you still here? Are you a moron? Are you dumb? Are you a stupid idiot?
Yeah, it sucks when it happens to you, but imagine if you were the one shooting someone in the back. Well, you can do just that in Sea of Thieves, sneaking up on another player and blasting them with a blunderbuss. They'll get taken out immediately, and your reward is being called a coward.
Oh, man.
Hey,
What?
sometimes that's how it goes.
Wait, what's wrong with that?
The worst kind of player is someone that truly breaks the rules by hacking. In Warzone, there are way too many cheaters,
So
and
cringe.
developers have spent night and day trying to find a solution. Instead of just banning them,
What do you gain by doing this? You didn't just cheat the game, you cheated yourself. You took what could have been a learning experience, a way to develop your skills and be better, and you cheated yourself out of the experience that you could have gained.
they thought they would have some fun with the hack.
I'm sorry, it probably wasn't clear. I was referencing this tweet where a PC Gamer article said I beat Sekiro's final boss with cheats and I feel fine, and then someone replied and said, you cheated not only the game, but yourself. You didn't grow. You didn't improve. You took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked. And nothing was gained. It's sad that you don't know the difference. Like, brother, he played a video game. It's okay, man.
So in June, the anti-cheat was updated with a new way to mess with modders, fake enemies. Yeah, they'll hallucinate opponents to distract them, so they don't mess with real players and also make them very obvious. Those are 24 games
That's
that
good.
punish players. It's been
I really appreciate how good they are at making anti-cheat measures or fun anti-cheat measures in Warzone. I don't play Warzone, but I know that cheating is a massive problem in it, and I love how really, really, really dialed in they are at punishing cheaters in interesting and creative ways, because I'm pretty sure they also make a lobby just for cheaters so that the cheaters are only playing against cheaters and they don't know that they're only playing against cheaters. So it's like a cheater paradise where they can fight NPCs and other cheaters, but they can't affect the actual games of real people, which is a great, great, great thing. Another great, great, great thing is subscribing to morepat if you haven't already, because then you can see my dumb face a little bit more, patterrz.